Which action camera is better, the GoPro HERO11 or the DJI Osmo Action 3? I've been using both extensively for about 6 to 7 months. I know their pros and cons, and in today's video I'll help you decide which action camera is best for you. Starting with the build quality and design, both have a very sturdy premium build quality and a similar waterproof body design. However, the Action 3 can be submerged up to 16 meters underwater, whereas the HERO11 can only be submerged up to 10 meters. The other physical differences are the rounded removable lens on the Action 3 versus a square lens filter on the HERO11, the magnetic mount on the Action 3 versus a standard GoPro mount on the HERO11, and the Action 3 has a dedicated removable USB-C door, whereas the HERO11 has everything including the battery, micro SD card slot and USB-C port under one door. Personally, I prefer the Action 3 design because of the magnetic mount, which makes it easier to switch between accessories and is also easier to use both horizontally and vertically. I also like how simple it is to remove the micro SD card from the Action 3 versus the HERO11. It's always tough to remove the SD card from the GoPro, but the Action 3 makes it easy to do. In addition, the Action 3 has a smart USB-C port that allows you to easily connect external microphones with a cheap USB-C to 3.5mm dongle like my Boya BYK4, whereas the HERO11 requires the expensive media mode or 3.5mm mic adapter. I definitely prefer the Action 3's external microphone connection method, but it's not a flawless experience. Unfortunately, even with the mic gain set to the lowest level, the Action 3 doesn't handle windy conditions very well with external microphones, which can completely ruin your audio. Here is a side-by-side comparison to the HERO11 with the media mode, so you can hear for yourself. Now I am using the DJI VMic D4 microphone, and the gain on the camera is set to +0 decibels. I had to go back home and bring a special cable to plug the VMic D4 microphone to the GoPro, but anyhow, right now I'm using it with the wind muff attached. So as you saw, when using external microphones, the Action 3 definitely has more audio distortion issues in windy conditions than the HERO11 with the media mode. I honestly don't know why this happens. I don't think it has anything to do with my Boya adapter, because I've seen many people online complaining about this issue with all kinds of adapters. Regardless, it's a really annoying problem, especially if you're doing something like motovlogging. But what about the built-in microphones? Both have decent built-in microphones, but the Action 3s are without a doubt superior, at least for me. Testing which microphone rejects wind better while driving a scooter at around 35 kilometers an hour. Test, 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 test. Testing the audio quality on the DJI Osmo Action 3 versus the GoPro HERO11 while being in a car. I think the audio quality is a bit better on the Action 3 compared to the HERO11, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Moving on to battery and power, in my experience, the Action 3's battery lasts a bit longer and charges more quickly than the HERO11. I love the battery life on the Action 3, which is significantly better than the HERO11. It also charges significantly faster and more reliably than the HERO11. The HERO11 has a lot of power issues. The issue that I run into most frequently is that it won't charge when plugged into the wall. I can't tell you how many times it happened to me with the HERO11, but it has never happened to me with the Action 3. Also, I think the battery on the Action 3 is a bit more resistant to extreme temperatures, but don't quote me on that because I haven't used either of these cameras in cold climates. In terms of software, I think the Action 3 is the clear winner. In my opinion, it has a much more organized menu system that is easier for beginners to understand. Not to say that the HERO11's menu system is bad. In some cases, it offers more customization options. For example, you can change the sharpness level, create more custom presets, preview your shots in slow motion, lock the exposure with spot metering, and customize the screen shortcuts. The Action 3 menu system, on the other hand, is more more polished, with cool features such as easily locking the white balance, adjusting the mic gain with external microphones, and seeing the exposure value when manually exposing shots. The Action 3 also has a front touchscreen for changing settings while vlogging, whereas the HERO11 doesn't, and I think DJI's Mimo app is more reliable and easier to use than the HERO11's quick app. When I first got the Action 3, I thought the front touchscreen is a gimmick, but now I love it and wish GoPro would do the same on their next model. Moving on to reliability, I think the Action 3 wins once more. In my experience, it's a much more reliable camera. It turns on and off faster, has fewer bugs and glitches, and has longer recording times before overheating. I ran a couple of overheating tests a while back, you can watch the video here, and the Action 3 recorded for at least twice as long as the HERO11 before overheating. That's a huge difference, and it may be a deal breaker for you not buying the HERO11. Furthermore, I've had more reliability issues with the HERO11, such as battery drain, the camera not powering on unless the battery is removed and reinserted, SD card issues, and display glitches. I think the majority of these issues happen when using the GoPro with the media mode, but it's still very frustrating. In comparison to the Action 3, the HERO11 is a much more unreliable camera. The only two major issues I've had with the Action 3 are when the touchscreen becomes unresponsive when using the camera a lot in the heat, and sometimes when I turn the camera on and off, all of the custom presets disappear for no reason. This didn't happen very often, but when it did, it was very annoying because I had to recreate all of the custom presets from scratch. Now let's get into field of view, aspect ratio, and stabilization. The Action 3 has a 4:3 aspect ratio sensor, whereas the HERO11 has an 8:7 aspect ratio sensor. When cropping for vertical video, the HERO11 8:7 aspect ratio provides a slightly wider field of view, whereas the Action 3 4:3 aspect ratio provides a slightly wider field of view when cropping for horizontal video. So each has pros and cons, but I barely use these features because I hardly shoot vertical videos with my Action cameras, and when I do, I just take the Action camera, flip it to vertical mode, and that's it. What about field of view? The ultra wide field of view on the Action 3 is wider than the hyper view on the HERO11, but only when the stabilization is set to normal rock steady. When the Action 3 is set to rock steady plus stabilization with ultra wide field of view, the HERO11 has a wider field of view with hyper view, even when hyper smooth is set to boost. And another advantage of the HERO11 is that it has a 360-degree horizon lock, whereas the Action 3 only has 45 degrees. So overall, the field of view on the Action 3 is wider, and I also think that when shooting in standard field of view versus linear on the HERO11, everything looks a bit more symmetrical and straight without the weird curved lines from the fisheye lens. However, the HERO11 has 360-degree horizon lock, which can be an advantage for some of you. What about stabilization? To be honest, I can't tell the difference when I compare the two. I tested both in all stabilization modes and they're both fantastic at stabilization. I really can't say anything else. I think the digital stabilization on Action cameras has been perfected, and you will not be disappointed with either of these cameras in terms of stabilization. If you think otherwise, please share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's move on to image quality. In my opinion, the image quality of the HERO11 is much better than that of the Action 3. It has a wider dynamic range, 5.3K resolution versus 4K, which is sharper and more detailed, and the photo quality is better and more detailed due to the higher 27 megapixel sensor. In terms of overall image quality, I think the HERO11 destroys the Action 3. This is where the HERO11 truly shines. The Action 3 footage is too over-sharpened digitally, and the dynamic range is incomparable to the HERO11. This CineLike is also more difficult to color grade than flat color profile, and the image is always too contrasty, which I dislike. However, the Action 3 has some advantages in terms of image quality, such as accurate color straight out of the camera, including skin tones. The image on the HERO11 is always too warm. I love how accurate the colors are on the Action 3. The Action 3 also has HDR video. I don't usually shoot in HDR, but I must admit that it looks nice, and the Action 3 performs much better in low light conditions than the HERO11. But overall, I think the HERO11's image quality is much better than on the Action 3. There's just no competition in my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, please share why in the comment section below. And yes, I know these cameras have different price points, but I'm just sharing the facts. To summarize, I think both cameras are fantastic. The Action 3 has a longer battery life, a simpler magnetic mount design, less overheating and reliability issues, a wider field of view, more accurate colors and better low light performance, whereas the HERO11 shines only in terms of image quality. Personally, I prefer the HERO11 because image quality is all that matters to me. This camera's image quality is so good that I'm willing to ignore its flaws. However, if you are looking for a reliable action camera with a longer battery life, the Action 3 could be a good option. Just make sure you don't get one with the focus issues. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I hope this video helped you make a wise purchase decision on your next action camera. Thanks for watching.